All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in again for another Authors Impact Hub Q&A. You're back on with the Authors Impact Hub podcast. I am your host, Juanita Woodson, and we are joined again, no stranger to the Authors Impact Hub. We have on with us Arthur Smith, who is back with another book. I'm going to
Yes.
share the book because I have my copy, but we're going to have him introduce himself, who he is, and tell the title of the book that we're going to be discussing tonight. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Mr. Arthur Smith. If you can just real briefly share who you are, where you're from, and the title of the book that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Juanita. My name is Arthur Smith. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. You can tell by the hat. Uh, let's see. Me in a nutshell, I'm a son, father, husband, friend, and a writer, or a creative writer. And I am an author of, proud author of two books. First one, Layers, but then the latest one is Dig Deeper, which we'll be discussing today.
Yes, absolutely. So super excited to get into the Q&A. So before we do that, what's one thing about you that most people wouldn't guess just by looking at you?
They wouldn't guess how silly I am because my face is pretty stern in most cases, but I'm really silly. I love comedy, and I think one of my favorite things to do was just annoy my wife. Just when she doesn't want to be bothered, I mess with her anyway, just because I find it to be joyful.
Okay, I think that's most husbands actually.
Yes.
My husband's probably the same way, and I think I like to do the same to him too.
Yeah.
So I love that. So your book is titled Dig Deeper. So what does digging deeper mean to you personally?
So to me personally, I had experience in my years of writing to where I was writing like I would describe it as my true heart, but then I kind of pulled back from it and I was still able to write, but it's like what I was writing was it's like I just felt like it was rejecting my efforts. And so got to the point to where I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm going to do this and just be fully transparent and vulnerable, which is a growing process. Believe me, it's a growing process, but that's really what it is, trying to get back to the core of writing the absolute truth.
Okay, absolutely. So was there a moment or experience that let you know it was time to write this book?
So not necessarily to write this book. I think it's more so of the pieces that was in the book. Those come through because this book is a lot of me, so it comes through lived experiences. And so when I have those experiences, I oftentimes I have to write it in that moment. And so as I put this book together, I'm like, these are pieces that really kind of touch more than just, like I said, the surface level. They actually show who I am as a person.
Okay. So for those that don't know, what is Dig Deeper about?
So Dig Deeper is a book of poetry, written from the male's perspective. I am a male, so I wrote it from the male's perspective. And it's just really just, it has pieces where it's me come to terms with my past, um, me dealing with different relationships that I've had, and just having the opportunity to truly express how I feel about people who's truly important to me. And so, with this book being about me, it's not something that just resonates with me. I believe that the readers will be able to find a way to connect to, or I think the work will find a way to connect to the readers, and they can find themselves in it.
Okay. So how long have you been writing? Because we know that this is not your first book.
No. So I've been writing for well over 20 years. So it's funny when people ask me about how long it take to put a book together. I don't really have a time frame for that because a lot of the pieces that I've written have come within that 20-year span. Have a lot of newer pieces, but just so much volume that it's just kind of weird saying because I'm not starting from scratch saying I'm going to focus on this and write from there. But that is my goal within the next couple of releases.
Okay. So, after having been writing for over 20 years, then how has that shaped the author that you are today?
Um, what I think it really did was it made me kind of reflect on my writing. And when I write things now, I try to write things that will seem like it's an eternal piece. So it could be connected to a time, but you could read 100 years from now and still feel like, man, he's right here speaking to me. So really just trying to write that eternal work, it's made me a lot more analytical with just the things that I view and then even what I share in written form, trying to make sure that I'm sharing it in a way that is truthful and creative, but also in a way that if it's about something or someone, it's not in an offensive way, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. So you described this book as a man learning to share his complete heart. So
Yes.
what did that journey of vulnerability look like for you?
It looked like me actually finally having to open up, uh, just to different people, different things. Then also it made me realize that I consider the feelings of other people now oftentimes put their feelings above mine.
Mhm.
And I think when you do that, in a lot of cases, you do yourself a disservice. So with this, the journey was to actually write what I felt about whatever the topic was and not really care what the next person may feel, whether it's a relative or whatever, because they may have a perspective, I have my perspective, and I'm writing from my perspective, so you may not like it, but again, I have to kind of put my feelings above how you may feel about a certain situation. So,
Yeah. So I know many men are taught to stay grounded. And I know that vulnerability piece, right? Many
mhm.
men struggle with vulnerability as well. So did poetry or has the form of writing, has that helped you with facing the vulnerability?
So most definitely, because writing has been like my safe place.
Okay.
So I could be vulnerable, I could be transparent in my notebook. The struggle came in and doing that in the outward form to where people can see. Um, so there's a lot of pieces that I've written throughout the years where I used to do spoken word and like I would perform the different pieces, but things that was just like too close to the heart, I would shy away from doing it in public so that people wouldn't see the emotion come out of me. But I think I'm at a point now, and it's like people need to see it. People need to see it, and that's the way that people truly connect because you're human just as they are. And so, in doing those pieces, should I hit the stage again, um, I think they'll have a new way to actually connect with who I am.
Yes. And you never know who you may be able to help free, right? From
Absolutely.
you being vulnerable. Someone may be able to step out of their own comfort zone,
Yes. So,
right?
yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. So I think that it's time to hit the stage for sure. Yes. So what poem challenged you the most to write and why?
I think honestly, it's probably dig deeper. And I think that's because I really had to put a mirror on myself and just like come to grips with this is your task. This is what you're called to do. So if you're called to do this, you got to do it in the way that it was given to you. So it's really no more hiding. Um, I have to put myself out there and be vulnerable. And again, that's it's really hard. It's really different, but that's still challenging to a certain extent. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, and I don't know, this might be the same poem then. So, what poem are you most connected to personally?
Most connected to. There's a poem in there called I. It's a
Okay.
very short poem. Uh, and I think I'm connected to it because it's truly me. And sadly, I don't have it memorized, but it says something to the extent of I was always confident in my unconfident self, or I was always unconfident in my confident self. And that's really me in a nutshell because my confidence level has always been on 1,000. But a lot of times when you see me, I look as if I have no confidence at all. So I'm constantly kind of shrinking, even though I know that the space I am probably isn't big enough for me.
Wow. Yes. So, your voice is from a male perspective, but you say
Yes.
the messages resonate with all readers. Why do you think
Hmm.
that is?
I say that because one, I think in doing this, it shows men that number one, it's okay to feel. Number two, it's okay to have emotion. Three, it's okay to express your emotion. But then I think it's good from the female perspective because it gives them an opportunity to see the heart of a man. And so in reading this, they may come across something that is very similar to the man in their life, be it their husband, boyfriend, son, father, whoever. Um, and give them a new way to actually connect with them because they're able to see things in a new light for from a new perspective.
Okay, yes. So, what do you hope readers walk away with after diving deep into your work?
For I guess for this particular body of work is that again, it's okay to express, it's okay to put your feelings above someone else, not in a selfish way, but in a healthy way.
Mhm.
Because if we don't get those expressions out, especially for men, our main only way of expression is anger. But that's not the only emotion that we feel. So it's very freeing to truly let go of yourself and say what's on your heart, say what's on your mind, even if it's going to come across with a sting in the moment. I think that given that absolute truth will make every relationship a little bit better in the long run.
Absolutely. So, what does transitioning from comfort zone to breakthrough look like in your everyday life?
I think really the purpose of it for me is to be a better example to my son.
Mm,
Because again, with us growing up the way that we did, boys don't cry. You don't this, that, and whatever. And so with me transitioning from that rough foundation that we had or that I had, I'm able to show him a more gentle way so that once he's of age, he could be a healthy male who's able to communicate, who's able to express and say, I don't like this, or I really love that. That's just, just to be free enough to say what's truly on his heart and what's on his mind. So for me, it's imperative that I shift myself so I could be a visual example for my son and then my lineage to come.
yes, absolutely. So, then for someone struggling to open up emotionally, what would you say to encourage them to start their own journey to digging deeper?
Yeah. I am a strong advocate for writing. So sometimes it's hard to open up to a person. So I would definitely say get your notebook and just write freely. Whatever it is that you're thinking, you may not even have a specific topic or anything that you want to speak about, but if you just sit there with the notebook, maybe cut on some music, the words will flow. And as the words are flowing, you'll see that your heart is poured out. So don't be afraid to and that's again where I'm challenging myself because for me, a lot of times when I'm writing, when the tears start, my pen stops.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to push my pen to go with the tears. So, but yeah, I highly encourage just writing it down. That way, it's in a safe place. You're able to at least get out of your mind for a moment and have some type of reprieve. That's really what made me start writing. And then as you get comfortable with that, you'll start to become more free to actually open it up to actual people.
Yes, absolutely. So if you could summarize the message of Dig Deeper in one powerful sentence, what would it be?
Hmm. Free yourself. Stop hiding. Show who you are. At the cost of whoever's feelings. They may not like it, they may love it. But again, you got to be true to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. So coming to a spoken word stage near you. Yes.
Yes, it's been a while, but I'm itching to get back.
Yes, I love to see that. Okay. So how can listeners connect with you on social media and purchase a copy of your books?
Absolutely. So you can find me on all social media at Arthur Author, Arthur Arthur, and the number two. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever, fan base, TikTok, all that, even YouTube. And then as far as my work, uh, my books are available on Amazon. However, I would love for you to go to my website to get the work from there. Part because my favorite part of being an author is writing messages to my readers. So, purchase from my site, I can craft a special message for each person. And so, my website is www.authorarthur, the number two.com.
Yes, absolutely. So head to the website and order the book. Make sure when you order, leave a review. And so, of
Yes.
course, we always end the show with this message or with this question, and that is, what impact do you want your books and your work to leave on the world?
Uh, I would like my work to leave to the world. I guess the message I believe is one, again, be true to yourself. It's okay to open up. But in all of my work, the overall concept is love. So love yourself, love those around you, love, because that's who we was created or what we was created to do in the first place. So that's about what I would say.
Yes, absolutely. Well, as always, thank you for taking the time out to join me here on the Authors Impact Hub podcast. If you have not, go and grab your copy of Dig Deeper from Author's website. Of course, make sure you go and grab the copy directly from his website and check out his other books on there as well. Make sure that when you listen to this episode, drop a comment in the comment section. We love for you to share that takeaway from the episode. Like, subscribe, and share. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And then until next time, stay tuned for the next episode. Take care. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.